In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Hello, viewers around the world. You are welcome. My name is Mark Godwin Iweajunwa, and we're here on our weekly show starter, Between the Lines. Between the Lines today, 16th of June, 2025. And I'm here with my great partners, far away, Toronto, Canada, is George Chukwu. George, welcome to Between the Lines.
Thank you so much, Mark Godwin Iweajunwa. And viewers from around the world, we welcome you Between the Lines. Monday updates about things that has been happening during the weekend. Welcome.
Nice. Yes, George, a lot of catch-ups to do. A lot, and I know you're there. The G7 starts there. Everything is starting there. But let's bring in Raji, Olayinka Raji, Lagos, Nigeria, with the massacre in Benue. Raji, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Glad to be here again today.
It's nice to see you. George, are you not happy to see Raji? That's your man.
I am very, very happy to see Raji. Hey. If Raji no day here, who I go punch? Who I go punch now? But I must have now. Papa, where I go they punch small after Father's Day yesterday for North America. So, Allah encourage you. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm glad to
George, that's a good one to start to remind us. Yesterday was Father's Day. We rarely do have Father's Day like we had yesterday. I mean, it comes once in a blue moon, gentlemen. So how is it being a father and somehow not really recognized? I mean, the world doesn't see much on that. What do you think, George?
Well, in North America where they celebrate their fathers, most of the time when you see is, they say, well, the reason why we are so important, a mom is so important to us is because usually it's Father's maybe and Mother's Day. Because until you do the DNA test, you don't know whether the man is your dad. So they say it's Father's maybe and Mother's Day. So we know who our mother is, but is that man our father? We have to do DNA sometimes,
All right, George, you finish us. This one is crazy. Raji, I mean, the men should be recognized. It's men that has made this world the way it is. I mean, the infrastructures around the world, the beauty of life, even men did it. We walk, we do everything, we feed the family. What do you say, Raji?
Yeah, I agree with Sir George to some extent because a child's mother is about 99.99% known. A child's father is what the mother tells. What the mother tells it is. Yes. It's no wonder. There seems to be a conspiracy among women. The moment a child is born, they will find something on the child that they will say, this child resembles his father, he resembles his mother, so that it's all a scam. It's all a scam. So that they will make the father happy that, okay, he actually has it. But then, and also yesterday's Father's Day was quite different because the men came out. The men came out to warn everybody, it is our day tomorrow. Please celebrate us.
Stop marginalizing us.
Stop marginalizing. In my own case, I sent a happy Father's Day message to myself on behalf of my children. before
Good one.
before they sent yes.
Good one. I actually had phone calls. I have my children all around. Have phone calls coming in, and they all recognize that, and it was beautiful. Yeah. So, viewers, you're tuning into Between the Lines. We're starting with yesterday's event, Father's Day. Let's do more to appreciate our fathers. I mean, these are God in our midst. Abi George,
You know something. Like I remind my children sometimes. It is not when the Bible say honor your parents, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long on earth. If you choose one against the other and don't honor the other one, and the Bible never told you honor them if they are good, honor them if they are good fathers, or honor them. Honor them.
There's no condition.
There is no condition.
No conditions.
And if you want your life to be healthy, to be good, to be long, then you need to honor your parents. And it is very, very important. That the Bible does not give you condition if they are good, or if they are that, or if they are together. Honor them, because it's for your own good.
George, this one is strong now, what you just brought up. George,
Yes.
is it why we're having these young deaths now on earth? I mean, young people dying more than before. You have 20s and 30s and 40s just dying. I mean, compared to how it was.
I'm going to tell you something. Take a look in Japan. One of the major things about Japan is that they honor elders. They don't play with their elders. But you take a look in that country, you see a lot of people that live over 100. Many of them die at the age of 90-something, 100. And you go out because you know what? They teach them from childhood how to honor elders. When you honor elders, then you will reach that age to be honored. But if you do not honor them and you despisefully use them, you will become a non-entity in your own time. And most of the time, you will die prematurely.
God is so good that he put the grace of the children on the father. The grace of God descends onto the children through the father.
Through the dad.
So a child who does not respect the father will lose a lot of grace. Therefore, that's why in a lot of Black American homes where there's no father, there's so much instability in the child's life that the child goes around throughout life rootless, without any roots. A father provides you a root, a fulcrum around which you have to move, you have to revolve. Without a father's love and presence. Go ahead, George.
Do you know that this is
gentlemen? I don't want
us to descend into this, but this is it.
No.
Do you know that this is very, very important?
Yes.
That in the Old Testament, if you disrespect your father and your mother, it's stoning. They kill you. They bring you out and stone you to death. Do you know that it is a law under the Old Testament? It doesn't appear in the New, but in those days, if you disrespect your father or disrespect your mother to the point where it is known, they bring you out. The first time they might bring you out in the public and spank you. If you continue doing that, they will stone you to death. That is how bad that is. Because what it does, it opens the door for all manner of mess to come within the community of people if they don't take care of it.
Gentlemen, what we're discussing is very vital. It's important because people might not say this, but I don't want us to sound misogynist. I don't want us to sound like there's prejudice against any the gender. But listen to this. I also think that remember back in the days, biblical records like we have, when they count men, when they count population, people, they don't count women, they count men, So somehow the man is that entity that represents, the family. So putting him aside, making him look like a dummy or not giving him that preeminence that he requires might also affect the family indirectly. That's what I'm looking at with what you're saying.
It does. It does.
Like
It
before, the
does.
grace of God, the grace of God comes onto the father, onto the children through the father.
Mhm.
If there's no father in the life of a child, there's a disconnect between him and the infinite and the universe.
Wow, you know the mistake we did. We should have had this show yesterday. So we just talk about this all through, because what we're saying is real wonderful. I tell you, people don't say this, and because we're also saying it with a balance. We're not no prejudice, no misogynist
No, no,
sentiments.
it's
So what
Father's
we'll
Day.
do, yeah, what we'll do,
So
guys, let's come sometime when you guys are ready. Let's have a show, not on Father's Day per se, but let's have something on this space, this topic.
It
It's
is
important because
important.
people are not saying this, George. People are
Mhm.
not talking some of these things, and
Mhm. They're not.
yes, and one reason why God placed people like you, George, Raji, with people younger generation is to pass these wonderful ideas and knowledge you have to them.
Wisdom to them.
Yes, yes.
It is
All
important.
right, guys. Wonderful. I'm so excited with that startup. Gentlemen, viewers, this is it. We are here. Okay, gentlemen, it's Between the Lines today, Monday, 16th. The state of the nation. Last time we were talking about the state of our nation, but it doesn't seem like it's improving that much. Let's come down. Raji, during yesterday, we saw the most gruesome attack on innocent people again. Guys, let's talk about the Benue State massacre. That's a massacre. That's too much. Let's talk about this. Raji, let me start with you. You're in Nigeria. You
yes,
probably have some new. Yes, go tell
you,
us.
you know, the most saddening part of the whole event. The president did not even make mention of it. It was long after the Pope had actually given a press conference on what is happening right down in Benue, that the president had time to even mention it. We still have to go back to this thing. There must be government complicity in the gruesome murders going on, such that the government doesn't seem concerned about it at all. From the state, the local government, and especially the federal government, there doesn't seem to be any strong desire to curb this. Because it happens every day. It seems to have abated across Plateau. It is now coming on seriously all over Benue. And it comes with displacement, wicked and vicious elimination of human beings by fellow human beings.
Let me
This is
announce
not
that
going
we can't show the videos. Raji, you will still continue. I want our
to. Okay.
viewers to know that we're sorry. The clips, the images are too gruesome. They are too barbaric. We don't want to spoil your mood. Also, because the network, some of the network we attached to have red flag on such graphics. All right, Raji, go ahead.
Yes. It's rather unfortunate. And throughout most of Nigeria, life goes on as usual, as if nothing is happening. You will hear that somebody has been kidnapped, and the next thing is that ransom has been paid, and life goes on. I don't understand this kind of country. We have a government, and that kidnapping for ransom is now a standard business. No, there's something wrong. There's something wrong,
Something
especially
is
with the
definitely
killing and
wrong,
displacement.
especially when they're using the banks to receive money.
Yes,
Something
to
is
receive
definitely
money.
wrong. They use the banks. Can you imagine? They use the banks to receive money. So the government cannot
So
say,
yes,
let us go and investigate who does this account belong to. I mean, this is nothing but conspiracy. That's all it is. I'm sorry, Olayinka. Go ahead, continue, my brother.
yes, no, yes. I agree with you. The government has been complicit in all these things because it's unthinkable, it's unquestionable that Such things will be happening in a government that says it came with a renewed hope. No, there's something wrong. There's something
And
wrong.
on top of this, gentlemen, what we are hearing the most in the news in Nigeria is transition 2027. In 20, we are still in 2025.
It's crazy. It's crazy. We have emergency in a country. A state of emergency ought to be declared in that area. Okay? In that Yawata Guma County, Benue State, Nigeria.
Go ahead, George.
More than 200 people were massacred. Children burnt beyond recognition. Mothers massacred and killed. As if they are nothing but regular vultures that are being killed, uneatable animals that are being killed and massacred. And we are talking about this. More than 40 jihadists from Nasarawa State came into this place and just decided to decimate both the women and the children and everybody. This is such, and we're talking about consistently consistent in this attack in these areas. And the government is sitting doing nothing. And I don't hear any Fulani person coming to condemn this. This is so bad that even eyewitnesses were crying over the bodies that were charred. Now, the president did not go there, have not gone there to appeal to the people. All he's doing is giving news. Oh, let the governor do this and let the governor do that. Where are the military? Why are we having a state of emergency in River State where there are no killings or whatever the case might be, and we put a military man there? But where we need it the most, the Fulani, the Muslim Fulanis are annihilating Christians, and that's exactly what it is. That's why the Pope had to talk, because most of the people that were killed were Christians that were even in some of these IDP camps. So it is so deplorable that we are facing this thing in a country where we have a government. Now, there is some kind of conspiracy going on whereby they have deliberately are trying to take these people out of their own lands, put them in ID camps. What the government ought to be doing is bringing money to build houses, to rebuild houses to these people that are displaced, put them back into their own land. If they are unable with the military and all the security forces in Nigeria to deal with this, let them go outside. They can go to Russia and bring some of these people that are manning some of these African nations. Let them surround that place and annihilate these people at sight, because this is too much. And then all they're doing is talking about, I don't think we should ever open up our mouth and talk about any political movement about the 2027 anymore. Because this is such an emergency that we don't even, it is such an insult to the nation to talk about anything else except for this, honestly speaking. Can you just imagine children being burnt to ashes?
So that's, George, your very passionate views there. The governor this evening, this real-time update we're getting, the governor, that's Governor High Science earlier, has said that the federal government has come to their aid. That's what he's saying. He said they've done a lot more than people think, and he's trying to refute claims that the government has not been helping them. So this is the governor on your right-hand side on the screen. This is what he's telling us this evening. But what we're also hearing from
sorry. Are the people back home? Are the people back in their homes, or they are in some IDP camp away from their land? Let them return the people back to their homes. Let them return them back to their homes. Whatever they were doing, whatever they are putting up at IDP camps, let them put them up in their homeland, their original homeland.
This is what the international country is calling. US and other countries are advocating to call for Nigeria to be redesigned a country of particular concern. CPC, that is a country that is of a particular concern. And that this is part of the reason why Trump is actually considering putting Nigeria, a ban from Nigerians to come to the United States. He's considering it. And right now, we have the only president who encountered Buhari was Trump when he came to the White House. And he asked him, I heard that Muslims are killing Christians in your country. And the man had no clue what answer to give. The failure of Buhari is the failure to deal with this situation in the Central Belt. And the failure of Asiwaju will be his inability to deal with this situation, because I don't care what you have accomplished economically, financially, and everything. If you are unable to save the lives of your citizens, you are not a good person. You have failed in every area.
How did how did you expect Buhari, who calls himself the general of the Fulanis, to do anything about the Fulani incursions into this country? The people that they brought in for politics. What Tinubu seems to be doing is just continuing the process that Buhari started, treating them with glove hands and allowing them to walk rampage over the country.
There is even alleged government complicity in this from international law. Security forces failed to respond until after the massacre. Nasarawa State accused of harboring militias. Can you imagine that? So this is something that is coming outside of the country, who intelligence that they are receiving. So you can see that it's nothing but a systemic ethnic and religious cleansing campaign targeting TV and Idoma Christians. That's what they're trying to do. It is so wrong. And the reason, I believe that the only reason why Asiwaju will sit idly, only talking, no action, is simply because he's afraid of something. Because the only person that can handle this situation squarely, militarily, and otherwise is Asiwaju. And if he fails to do this, he is a failure in his presidency. And before 2 years, before that campaign begins, that is one thing that if he accomplishes it, then he has the right to sit on that throne for another 4 years. If not, there is questions that needs to be answered, honestly speaking. And Mr. President, please, we are talking to you directly. You are the only one that we can trust that will take charge over this situation. And do not listen to any Fulani or any, because what is happening is, even when they are captured, what do? When they are captured, they put them in prison for a minute and release them after. Then when they accumulate so much, they go and give them virgins to marry. This is the way you reward people that are killing people, massacring people. We are rewarding them by giving them wives. By giving them wives. They do mass marriages. All for what? I mean, this is so wrong.
Okay.
We condemn it from this place. And our condolences to the families that are involved. I know a lot of generations have been wiped away. Can you imagine that? Generations are being wiped out completely, and we're sitting idly talking about politics. What is politics?
What is politics? Okay. Again, well, the Asurok from the presidency, he says he has sent in the service chiefs to end that Benue killing, to end whatever it is that is happening there. Let's see if the service chiefs will follow up now. The army, the chief of staff.
That order was given at least a week ago.
It's been a long time.
A week ago.
It's been a long time.
And the killing happened after that order was given. He just now giving another perfunctory order. Is it the service chiefs who are going to do the firing? Do they have to be there?
And according to our source in Nigeria, they said the attack was happening, and it spanned through the night, and there were Nigerian army also stationed not too far away from where this whole thing was happening.
40
but
people.
I think
40.
The militiamen outran the security men. They were more than them in arms and everything. So this
can
is
you imagine?
Viewers, you're listening to.
Can you imagine this?
Between the lines. Okay.
Can you please imagine this? When they came out to protest yesterday, what happened? That's when you saw the security forces. That's when you saw the police officers. They're throwing tear gas on people who are demonstrating with no guns, no knives, nothing. You see helicopter going up in the air. Tell me this is not a conspiracy. Tell me.
It's complicity.
You see,
It's
US, EU,
complicity.
and UN said that must urgently investigate the pressure Nigeria. They investigate and pressure Nigeria. They must, to protect vulnerable population. Nigeria should be relisted as a country of particular concern, because if we do not, they are massacring these people, annihilating them, putting them in ID camps, and replacing them with some of these Fulani people. This is so wrong. And may God come to the aid of these people if the government cannot.
Real hot one. Viewers, also let's help some of our viewers, probably the ones that are non-Nigerians. Benue State, where this recent massacre has just happened, is where we call the food basket of Nigeria. Like you have Ukraine as the food basket of Europe. This is where our food stuffs, food crops, yam, and all of these wonderful food that we consume in Nigeria. This is where they come from. And in fact, I heard that there's also export going on with those food production. Now, Benue is right in the middle. That we call it middle belt. And you have Makurdi as the capital. You have other states surrounding it, like you see in the video clip, image there. Nasarawa to the north, Enugu to the southeast, Kogi to the southwest, and all of that. So beautiful state, but it's going through. I mean, it's unbearable. We've had this too many times. This one has the highest number of casualty. Close to 200 or more people have been reported killed, even though they won't give us the precise number of people. A very dark man, the young man that does content advocacy, was able to also come in and did some story on this. It's sad. It's sad. Raji, tell us.
I just wanted to say something quickly before Raji comes in.
Okay,
if you go to Igbo land today, every 5 kilometers you see military post. Every 5 kilometers you see military post. And compared to what is happening in these places, in Bono, in Nasarawa, and all the rest of them, you cannot see that in Igbo land. But every 5 kilometers you see military posts. Why can't they do the same thing in these places in order to stop this nonsense? Can't you see that this is a conspiracy? Government is complicit to this. Either that they are afraid of something, or they are working hand in tandem with the governors and some of these leaders in these areas. Because this cannot be where you have military people. They declare River State to be a state of emergency in River State. Nobody came out with gun. Nobody shot any gun. The military is still there. And right here, that this thing has been happening since 2016, or even way beyond. Sure. They cannot say military men go there, set up posts, and the ones that are there will not raise up a hand. That means that something is going wrong in Nigeria about these people. It is so wrong, so wrong.
Without being tribalistic, George, you will notice also that most of the soldiers who are down south in the southeast are mainly from the north.
That's it.
And those they send up north to go and face this insurgents, and who are routinely wasted, are mainly from the south. There's something criminal going on.
There's something criminal going on.
It is so sad. It is so sad.
We are talking Benue massacre. Gruesome attack on an innocent group of town people, and we are calling on the federal government of Nigeria to please come to the aid of these states, these people. Come to their aid. This is why there is government. Government stands for people's security. It's painful. What the images we saw is beyond description, and we don't know what to do. But SSM will do something. And that is, we're putting out a memo, a communique from this network, signed, sealed, sent directly to the presidency. We can't watch our people die like this. I mean,
if they don't know what to do, let's suggest to them a few things they can do, because it's easier to talk about the problems without actually giving solution. Number one, immediate deployment of federal joint security task. That's what they need to do. And they need to immediately deployment of federal and joint security side forces in Benue and border communities around that same area. Establish permanent military outposts in volatile rural areas like Goma and Yelwater, these places where you still have a lot of them that are ID camps. Emergency and cholera and typhoid teams should be deployed in this area, because some of them that are in these ID camps are going through hell because of spread of diseases and all that. Provide clean water and supply food and support the survivors. Okay, arrest and prosecute militia leaders and local collaborators. Launch a judicial inquiry into military inaction during the massacre, because something is definitely wrong. Why are there not there are no security forces coming after these people? And they can just come for almost 8 hours to 12 hours sometimes, do all the things and leave without being detected. You see? This is crazy. Okay. Enforce constitutional land rights for indigenous communities, because when they remove them, they replace them with others, so that these people have lost their lands permanently. Set up truth commissions and land restoration tribunals to address forced displacements. Because unless they do this, I'm telling you, it will continue. Think about it for a moment. Anytime civilians come out to protest, they have always been able to send military, police, security forces to fight against them. But up until today, these things are still happening. Last week we reported, 2 weeks ago we reported, 3 weeks ago we reported, last month we reported, the same area, the same thing. Come on. And we need to make sure that we that are in the media will make sure that the world is realizing what is really happening, how they are genociding these people, killing them, massacring them, and displacing them. This is unacceptable. And a letter ought to be written to any man that can do something about this. Trump needs to bring a warning to Nigeria, because maybe that might be the only time that somebody like Asiwaju might pay attention. Because for whatever he's afraid of, a promise needs to come from Washington to tell him, say, go ahead, we are behind you.
Another thing that must be done and be done very, very fast is to dismantle all these IDP camps. Return the people to their ancestral homes. Return them to their ancestral homes before their ancestral homes.
But you have to build houses for them to return. Their houses were burned down. You gotta help them to rebuild houses.
Where the IDP camps, are they permanent structures?
They're not, but the people return to their lands, but their houses have been taken over.
So dismantle the IDP camps and take it to their land. The IDP camps are not permanent structures. As long as you leave their lands unoccupied, you leave the space for other people to come and occupy. Those who are coming to occupy, are they building houses, or is the government building houses for them?
Well, whoever is sponsoring them must be helping them to occupy these places.
I understand. I also understand that there are some resettlement made for these aliens by government in those lands taken over by them. What they cannot do for the original owners of the land, they are doing for aliens and marauders. There must be something crazy. Return all these people.
There must be something crazy, gentlemen.
Their ancestral homes.
This topic, this discussion today is really intense, and yes, it's serious issue here. George, thank you for giving up solution. So just I will advise you cut out that part of your speech and let it go viral. That's very important. Gentlemen, let's do it. Let's take a small break. We'll be back. Thank you.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Viewers, that was it. The little clip we just saw now is the cultural dance move from that town, that state, Benue. This is the Otupo Gboko tribe. They dance like that, move their body, energetic people, because they have good food. That's, like we said earlier, that's the food basket of our country. So you can think of a state that produces food. Obviously, everybody eats well, so they are well nourished, so they can dance that energetic dance, and it's sad that we're having to talk about them in this other way. Gentlemen, we want to thank the Pope Leo the 15th. He came out and condemned that Benue killing, and he prayed for the victims. It's sad, Raji, you said that it was after the Pope had done his prayers that we now heard the president spoke about it. Is that not a shame, George?
It's so sad. It's so sad. It is so sad. So sad.
All right, gentlemen, let's move on to other stories. Let's come now to the other part of another gruesome act going on. Iran has launched massive barrage of missiles on Israel as of this afternoon, killing 3 Israelis, and the war is on. Now we are afraid that people might take side. Some countries are coming up taking side, and we don't want this to escalate, but it's going on. Iran also said about 224 people have been killed so far by Israel attacks since Friday. BBC is telling us this, while also about 24 people have also been killed in Israel from the counterattack. Let me start with Raji. Raji, this is it. Middle East is boiling again.
Raji, it's ever so surprising to me that whenever Israel does something, even as the aggressor, it is the other person who will be blamed for revenge. In the Middle East as it is now, the only destabilizing country, destabilizing force in the Middle East is Israel, and Israel and its propensity to take over Palestinian lands. Buried under the rubbles of Gaza today will be more than 100,000 bodies still under the rubbles of Gaza. Now, Israel has gone ahead to start attacking Iran for whatever reasons. And when Iran retaliated, Iran is being blamed for raining bombs on Israel. Let there be peace. Nobody wants. No, I don't see any country that wants a war more than Israel. Every day, every week, every month, Israel has fought a war almost every 2 years of its existence. There's some perversion going on that has to be looked into. So it's becoming a psychiatric psychosis. It is unfortunate for people
It's
who
un-
call themselves the
it's,
people of God.
Mhm. It's unfortunate. George, I know you have
Yes.
a different view, but
Well,
let's see, um, let's see some clip on this. We hope it's not as gruesome as the other one. All right, gentlemen. So that's these are some images we're able to gather. George, tell us. The situation is getting out of control.
it is sad.
Britain has sent some troops.
It is a sad situation that is going on, but it's also prophetic to a degree. And then one of the major issues we're having here is number one, you cannot come out openly and say that you want to kill me and kill my people, just like what Haman was doing during the Babylonian captivity and the Medes and the Persians. So what we're seeing here, Iran has vowed that they want to annihilate Israel. And they have said it openly. And even as of yesterday, one of them came out to say, we don't care what it takes. We will continue, with our attack on these people until they are finished. So when that is coming after you, and these people are trying to, just increase your military muscle in trying to acquire military might, they can easily wipe you away, and you're sitting there and watching them, and they're planning and strategizing. They are supporting Hezbollah, they are supporting all these other terrorist groups against Israel, and you're going to sit back and be smiling until what happened in last year when they captured kidnapped almost 1,200 people and killed a lot of others. Oh no, 300 and something people and killed 1,200 people. Would you sit down if you are intelligent enough and able to defend yourself? Because if they swore to annihilate you, the only attack, if you go after them, you are trying to save your life. Every man has the right to defend themselves. So what we are seeing now is an unfortunate situation that is really happening, and then we are seeing it live because it's in between the two countries is an outright war now. But what we have seen is Iran is urging U.S. President Trump to pressure Israel into a ceasefire to end the area conflict. That's number one. They are calling on him. And Israel Prime Minister is boasting that they are winning. Tehran is retaliating against these people, and they are telling them, we're coming after you, we're coming after your leaders. That's what Israel is doing. So Iran appeals to the Gulf states to mediate with US, offering flexibility in nuclear talks if Israel halts the attack. So what is happening right here is this: if there is going to be a common level of understanding, a diplomatic understanding to stop the killings on both sides and stop Iran from openly declaring annihilation for Israel. Because as long as they continue to do so, I will support Israel to defend themselves. Pure and simple.
You know, your narrative is so warped. It's so warped without any historical backing.
Well, we're talking about the current time.
Israel has been the only person attacking people. Now, whether when you actually look at the situation in the Middle East, you know that the ISIS, Hezbollah, Hamas, and all those things, most of them are backed by the US. If the US would take its hands off Israel and not support them in any war, Israel will not attack any of its neighbors. None of Israel's neighbors ever want to have war with them. Let Israel get out of Gaza, get out of West Bank, and there will be peace. Because all these people, they don't want anything. But Israel has consistently disrupted life in Gaza, disrupted their economic activities, and with their mind of pushing them into the Sinai. Egypt has refused to take any of the Palestinians into Sinai because the moment they leave Gaza, they won't be able to go back. That's why Egypt is not taking any of them. Let Israel learn to be at peace with her neighbors. There's no neighbor trying to annihilate Israel. Iran does not have any nuclear weapons. Israel have more than 400 nuclear weapons. Iran has submitted itself under the direction of the International Atomic Energy. Israel refused to even listen to the United Nations, listen to the US, listen to any other country. Israel is losing. He's losing. He can continue to be aggressive, but I can assure you that Israel has lost the moral high ground. They will lose more.
Anyway, listen to this. You remember what happened, what happened not too long ago when all the telephones and all the walkie-talkies were going off, a plan that was instituted almost 10 years before the time. Do you remember how many of their leaders that were sleeping until they came and they overtook them? Especially when you come out openly and begin to threaten Israel, they will put their plans together, they will institute it, they will execute it, and most of the leaders are running away. So what I'm saying to you is this: as long as these people continue to have an open and consistent verbal attack to annihilate Israel, they have the constitutional and moral rights. Listen to me, it's all over the place. This is not being made up. But it's not being made up. It's not being made up. You want to, I can put together even their own leaders when they said it. I can send it to you. It's not AI generated. These are real facts that we're working with here. Real facts you're working with. So don't ignore one part and continue to talk about the other.
When you are in control of the media, you can bring out any narrative. I can assure you, even the events of the October 7th, 2023 were entirely warped narratives that were eventually found to be fake.
By who? By Alternative Truth Media?
No.
The Alternative Truth Media?
Biden announced at the White House of children being killed. Eventually, he had to withdraw that statement. The Israeli newspaper Haaretz, the IDF have come out with so many other stories that falsify most of the narratives of October 7th, 2023.
Let's not forget that when you talk about the news, you have, Al Jazeera, you have other news outlets that are actually anti-Israel and anti-US that are reporting some of these facts I don't believe in going to read only American newspaper. I read all the newspaper to see the left and the right and the center. So that's where I get my facts from. I'm not talking about anything else. I would rather have a war, this war to cease, though it is impossible for it to cease until the final time when he who will come to bring that particular peace, but it's going to be false peace. There is not going to be any peace in the Middle East until Jesus returns. We know that already. So every politician can try all they will, but according to prophecy, according to prophecy, will continue to escalate. So, but these are facts that we're discussing. Go ahead.
Let's give also an overview of real-time information that's coming in now. An overview of it is that number one is the United States House is trying to pass a bill that will stop Trump from not going to war with Iran. So Trump plans to join in this war, but the House wants to bring a bill that will stop him. So this is what we're hearing now. It's coming from Al Jazeera. They say some Democrats, lawmakers are doing that because they see that the U.S. wants to join in attacking Iran. Also, what we're following up now is the Israel defense system that we call the Dome, the Iron Dome, is like it's failing, George. All the targets the Iran puts across is getting the targets, and it's the Iron Dome doesn't seem to be working. So Israelis, there's a vote talks on the streets of Israel, asking people how safe they feel, and they're saying they're safe. They don't feel safe anymore. The Iron Dome is not working. It's killing. People are dying from the attack. Iran is sending in. So let's not make too much of. Let's stay in between. Let's stay in between.
Well, we're staying in between, but you have to understand. Yes, a lot of the missiles that they fired, many of them were stopped, many of them penetrated, many of them destroy houses, killing children, women, just the same way, vice versa. So we know that, yes, quite a few number of them penetrated, and the Iron Dome was not able to, to stop them. And this is what, the thing is this: the common people are the victims over this situation. The common man who wants to live their daily lives without having any trouble, go to the market, buy you food, feed your children, sleep at peace. They are the people that are the ones suffering all of this mess, that a handful of people that call themselves leaders, for whatever purposes or whatever reasons they have, they begin to fight with one another. But it's the common people that will be suffering. At the end of the day, houses are being destroyed, people are being, destroyed, generations are being wiped away. For what purpose? What are we fighting for? Can we all not live in peace?
You know what is worse? What is worse? The constant wars that Israel is fighting on so many fronts. It's turning that country into a perverse situation that, in fact, there have been so much psychiatric effect on the average Israeli, because you cannot continuously be under a threat of war. It is necessary for you to look for peace by all means. Look at the devastation in Gaza.
Peace they seek for.
Look at the devastation. Hold on. Look at the devastation in Gaza. The Israelis are telling us that they are fighting Hamas, but they are shooting children right in the head. Children. They have blown up. They have blown up almost all hospitals. They have blown up all universities. They have blown up all.
Raji,
yes.
I know those images. You see, what you're following is AI generated image. What you're following is not verified. Those are not accurate. Please.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you for a fact.
Israel came out
even before now. Hold on. Even before now, children had been shot in the crotch for throwing stones at IDF personnel. In the crotch, children in the crotch, to disable them, to castrate them. It is bringing up a perversity. It is bringing up a perversity in their head. You can blame what you want to say. But what is happening is bringing out a perversity in the mental state of mostly every Israeli, from the things they are taught in school, or how the hatred they are taught to look at the Palestinians as subhuman, because you cannot do what they are doing to them, to the Palestinians, if you consider them as human. So they have to dehumanize them
Raji,
before
remember
they can
the
bring
Palestinian
genocide
head,
to them.
the Palestinian headman's son. Imagine his son. You see all you're saying now. He has come to refute and reboot all of these statements. The son of
The,
the son of Hamas. I mean, the son of
you are
Hamas.
telling me the son of Hamas. Look, there have been Israeli Jews, very aged people, survivors, children of survivors of the Holocaust, who have come out seriously against Israeli policies in Palestine, because the extent of it is to have dehumanized the Palestinians to the level of probably
Okay.
dogs, so that they
All
can be
right.
eliminated anyhow.
George, let's move on to
Let's
something
move on
else.
to another story because
Yes, yes.
Yeah, move on. Yes, move on.
It's we have what is happening in your end, George. The G7 meeting it has come to Canada. Canada will
yep.
be hosting the G7 at the mountaintop somewhere there. Tell us, UK, Italy, my country, France, Germany, Japan, all will be in Kananiski. Is that Kananiski? Is that pronounced
Yeah,
well?
it's, yeah,
Where-
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's called, yeah,
So,
Kananiski.
mhm,
It's the
yeah.
57th G7 summit.
Okay.
No, the 51st actually, and the
Yeah.
57th annual meeting of the organization. It's being held between today and tomorrow, which is the 16th and the 17th. And then it's actually called Kananaski, and then
Kananaski.
this is the second time that they're holding this summit in that particular place. So we saw President Trump, the Giorgia Meloni from Italy. We saw France, Emmanuel Macron. They all appeared. Yeah, and part of the thing that the NATO is Canada is actually, for this thing happening here, Canada is pledging to meet 2% defense spending target within 1 year. Canada promised that. India accused by Canada involvement in the Hardeep
Yeah.
Singh Niger's killing, sparking sick Canadian situation. I don't think that
Yeah.
the leader of India is coming simply because of the
No,
plane
no, he's
crash that
coming.
took
He's
place there.
coming.
A Mexican
I think
president also plans.
he's been
Oh, is
invited.
he coming?
He-
Okay, is he going to be
Yeah, he's
there?
coming.
Because
More,
I heard
more.
this today that he said that he might not make it because of the situation. Yes. So what you're seeing is they're expected to focus on North American trade tensions caused by Trump's tariff, and that's part of the thing that they want to ensure that there is a peaceful transition from all the tariffs into a resolution where all the countries can be able to participate without any of this, because the economy of the world has been sabotaged with these tariffs. And at the end of the day, most of the tariffs that they are bringing out, he will institute it and then he will backslide and back off again. So possibly, Canada also wants to discuss with him regarding the metals, the iron, and all the whatever deals that we all have together. So
Yeah.
hopefully this G7 might be able to solve those issues, because there are so many things happening around, that needs to be dealt by this NATO and the summit that they're having.
Wow, thank you, George. It's happening right behind you. So this Friday, you'll give us more on that, George.
Yes,
Raji,
ma'am.
they said AI will be on the discussion. AI and the minerals, like George said. Also, Iran-Israel issue will also be on the discussion. Do you think way forward? Do you think after this meeting by Wednesday, there'll be some, level-headed reaction among people?
I think after all the disruptions, with all the disruptions that Trump has caused globally,
Mhm.
I hope he doesn't involve himself in another war by the U.S. that is brought upon it by Israel. I hope he does. He stays out of the situation in the Middle East. Already, EU has been, Britain has, France has sent in jets to monitor the situation, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
whatever that means. I hope they are not supplying, surreptitiously supplying Israel with armament, because Israel on its own cannot, I don't think, be able to sustain any war for too long, unless it's being supported. Even in their genocidal mission into Gaza, they were funded and supplied weapons by the U.S. to go and fight Gaza, where there's no army.
Well,
As long as they don't poke nose into the matters and make it worse, I
Mm-hmm.
think whatever the liberation they are going to have, let them keep out of wars. So far, the war in Ukraine seems to have gone to the back burner, because you're not hearing much about it anymore. But I'm sure there's
Yeah.
something happening there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So
AI.
yes,
Do you think? What do you think they'll be talking about on AI, George? AI
well,
is going to cause a lot of obstruction and a lot
well,
of
what is
things in the
happening right now is you can't tell real from fake anymore.
absolutely.
Okay, so recently there was something that one of us posted about Trump,
Mm-hmm.
and when I saw that, I'm like, what? And the man was just talking. It was Trump talking, and I'm like,
That's it.
whoa. So I went into investigation, and when I discovered that it was AI generated. So all
Mm-hmm.
those type of things, you don't even know which one is true anymore, which one is not. And I believe that what they might end up doing is to curtail some of the things, but it's already out there. And it's going to be quite almost impossible to stop. And also, because there are things that are happening behind the scenes that we don't even know. How now the war that is going to be fought eventually will no longer be humans. It will be all these robots that will be going to the war. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, they're already working
So,
on it
yeah.
right
That's
now.
it. That's it.
please
Yes.
let him bring up a perspective. You
Mm-hmm.
know, after the 9/11 uh, uh, bringing down of demolition of the twin towers, certain uh, measures were taken that directly curbed freedom and liberty. Now, with AI and the way it is going, I'm sure there's also a plan to curb free speech, so that there will now be some kind of body that will now vet whether what you posted is true or false. And when that is inside, already the United Nations have brought up something that is supposed to curb free speech. When there were
Yeah.
no fact checkers,
Check.
we could get a lot of news, a lot of things. But the moment fact checkers came in, they now will deliberately uh, make fake what does not agree with their own narratives. So we are
Well,
in
for
we are in
for
for a serious uh,
yes.
curbing of our liberties
Yeah,
to speak.
curbing of freedom of speech, yes, will be happening soon. But for AI, George, some of us in the field, some of us that are small experts growing, I can tell a video that is AI and real. Once I see it, I don't need to look much. There
Yes.
are tiny lines, tiny things we see. You just say this is AI. That for me. So I can't be fooled by any of these things. Now, talking of curbing, Raji, I think it's important. There's a measure to control, but you see, most times when they come to control again, they silence some fruit from
Yes.
coming out. And keeps the ones they want to go wrong with.
Yes.
So it's going to be a wonderful future ahead of us. George said wars will be fought already. The Ukraine-Russia wars, if some Africans don't know, the number of personnel, soldiers in the war front has reduced, because now what you need is men that are good with computer and IT, to man those machines. You don't need to go front again and fight, shoot guns and all that. It's being played out now. It's going out. It's going off. So interesting times indeed, guys. Let's look something briefly before we go. There's a colleague of ours, a collaborator here with SSM. She did a clip because she's half Indian too. She did a clip on the Indian flight to Gatwick. So let's hear a little. Let the viewers hear a little. Then we wrap it up.
What went wrong on the doomed Air India flight to Gatwick? A passenger who said he flew on the plane hours before it crashed shared a video showing lights, air conditioning and other electrical fittings not working.
Nothing is working. Nothing. Not even the light is working.
It's not clear whether the apparent electrical issues were linked to the crash or just down to a separate power unit failure. The exact cause of the disaster is currently under investigation. Some experts have speculated that a very rare double-engine failure may have brought the jet down. Bird strikes are another possible cause, but these rarely have catastrophic consequences unless both engines are hit. Analysts have also suggested that the plane's wing flaps were not extended during the takeoff, preventing the jet from achieving maximum lift. While speculation over the cause of the crash has been rife, investigators have now recovered the second black box from the plane. This will no doubt be key in identifying why the doomed flight crashed, resulting in the deaths of more than 240 people.
So Nora, that very unfortunate. Nora giving us what went wrong with that Air India.
That one is AI generated too.
No. That's Nora.
It's AI generated. Who is Nora? Who is Nora? You. Okay.
You want to go? You want to come on the tech line now? Okay, gentlemen. Let's come it up. On Friday, George will be hearing more from the G7. You'll give us some more updates. And let's follow with the story in Nigeria, the Benue story. Let's hope that something will come to this whole madness in Benue State. Gentlemen, there's a quick one. We have less than 2 minutes. Appeal court overturns the forfeiture of Emefiele's property. I know you guys had that, and you were saying, "What is this again?" George, do you have that story?
Yes. Well, it's one of those things that it's a story that is real, but yes, still have a lot of secrets behind it. The Court of Appeal decision, the Lagos State Division of the Court of Appeal set aside the final asset forfeiture against former CBN Governor Emefiele. Now, the thing is this: none of these houses were purchased in his name. That's number one. He used company that never belonged to him to buy these houses. But it is so sad, the impetus of some of our executives, how they can just arbitrarily just do whatever they want to do. And let me tell you the reason why they do that. When the president is using you to do a lot of illegal things when it comes to money and moving money and doing certain things that is unreported to the public, then you feel like you have the right also to put your hand in the pocket and do whatever you want to do. So because the background of this story, it starts on November 4th, 2024. The federal court had granted EFCC request to permanently seize several properties and assets allegedly acquired through unlawful means. So they call it unlawful means because he's claiming these properties belong to him, but none of them actually, by the letter, is linked to him. He used a lot of companies. So if the question is, he's claiming that part of the money that he made as a CBN, when he was the president of one of the banks, that part of the money and his severance package was enough to buy these properties. If that was the case, why did you put it on other people's name?
Okay.
But that's the question that you really need to ask. If that is the case, if it's your money and you don't have nothing to hide and you really buying these properties with your own money, why do you have to hide it? Okay.
Simple question.
So that is a question that needs to be asked. Yes. Because number one, Emefiele messed up, allegedly messed up. And we're going to put alleged because his case is still in the court. But there are many questions. And we also know that he was used by Buhari to do quite a few number of things. The recoloring of the money, where we lost billions of naira unnecessarily for nothing. This money were just wasted, and nobody's talking about all these things. But so to him, he had the impetus. Is the president, the executive presidency is doing such and such, and so why can't I just do my own? But does two wrongs make it right? No, MFLA. It doesn't make it right, if indeed what they are alleging against you is true.
Powerful one,
I actually felt that there was too much haste in finding him guilty over all those properties. There should have been some decency, even if he's guilty. It was too fast.
Quick, fast.
It was unhealthy haste to find him guilty.
They say that the appeal court, the 2 out of the 3 justices agreed that conflicting evidences require retrial with an oral testimony and cross-examination of the forfeiture of the $2 million. $2 million. So you see, the thing is this: they wanted to shut the man up. Sometimes we ignore the truth. There is something so dire about this situation. One is, if Emefiele is allowed to speak, he will say so many things that can bring a lot of people. That would really, really shame a lot of people. And one of the reasons why they want to rush, do this thing, and shut him up is simply because of those secrets that he holds on to. And it will bring a lot of things against a lot of people. So that's part of the reason why they're doing this. And right now, they put him in a place where they gag him that he cannot speak. Because if he reveals those secrets, they might annihilate him anytime soon.
You like that word, annihilate?
Strong word.
Nigerians will call it pie. They will pie him.
They will pie him. Take him out. Gentlemen, beautiful. Let's go. You've done it. We've come between the lines, viewers. Between the lines, we have some good viewers that have been here with us. George, Raji, you guys don't feel me. You don't feel the audience. You don't feel the viewers. So thank you. We'll be back on Wednesday. Let's look into everything happening. A lot is happening. Nigeria will always give you the other side of the story. A lot is happening. All right, guys. Raji, what do you have to say to the viewers before we go?
Okay. I wish all our viewers a very, very great week ahead. This week, after Father's Day, will be a very nice week for us all. Keep the faith.
Keep the faith, Georgie.
For all those that are watching out live and those who will watch this program later on, I am placing a beautiful, wonderful blessing upon you for the rest of the week. Wow. And I will say also, may the Lord continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, bless our leaders with wisdom, and eradicate corruption in our country. We'll see you on Wednesday.
We'll see you on Wednesday. Viewers, this is it. You have heard a beautiful moment with us here between the lines. So till Wednesday, have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.